Sara Clay joined me today to talk about LinkedIn and what it means to your business. So just real quick, just want to mention that the Time Bandit app is now in the Apple Store and Android Store, or Google Play Store, I should say. So please be sure and download it and get a 7-day free trial. Sara, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Michael. Thank you very much. Great to
Why
be
don't
here.
you give a quick introduction of yourself?
So I'm Sara Clay. I'm a LinkedIn trainer. I work with businesses, helping them optimize LinkedIn, maximize their marketing, and get their brand message all over LinkedIn.
That's big too. I mean, that's the typical channels are still there and still usable in marketing, but LinkedIn has just become so prevalent and effective. Some of the other channels maybe are less effective over time because we all get too many emails, for example. So you've got to look at new channels. So looking forward to hearing your thoughts on that. But let's start with just time saving, since that's the theme of this podcast. So LinkedIn, I see people and I coach people about saving time and distractions and things like that. LinkedIn can be a big distraction, or it can be a very productive thing. Do you have any tips for people on time saving while they're in LinkedIn?
Oh, yes. So it's very easy on LinkedIn to go to LinkedIn, scroll through your feed, start chatting to your friends, chatting to people you know. To have a more targeted approach, use the bell. So everybody, when you're following somebody, there's a bell that appears below their banner. If you ring that bell, we call it ringing, you can be notified of all of their posts. So any particular target, people that you have in your network, you really want to see what they're posting about, ring their bell, and then you'll get a notification when they post. So instead of scrolling through your feed, if you've got 10, 20 people, you've rung their bells, go to LinkedIn, go straight to your notifications and work your way through one by one by one by one. Honestly, it saved me hours.
Oh, that is fantastic. I've been using LinkedIn forever, and I don't do that. I tend to get certain things and know who I'm looking for, but that's a great tip. Thank you so much for that. That's going to save a ton of time, because you're right. You could just scroll for days if you chose to, right? So
yeah,
great. Well, so you're helping companies, utilize LinkedIn in a more effective way. Can you start with that? Let's figure out. Tell me a little bit about the first steps there for a company or a team.
Okay, so a company page on LinkedIn is definitely an essential. You need to have that, and you need to be posting great content on there. It needs to be fully optimized, etc., etc. The problem with company pages is the way that LinkedIn have set them up, and I won't go into the whys and the wherefores, but I'm all for it, is that they kind of sit quietly in the corner, and you can't outreach from a company page. Company pages cannot go and sort of bash people, the personal profiles, over the head with their messaging. A good thing, I think. So how do you get that content that maybe you're paying an agency to create, or you've got somebody internally in your organization, you're spending a lot of money creating this amazing content? How do you maximize that? You use the employees. You empower the C-suite, the employees, the customer-facing employees, the behind-the-scenes employees, and use them to get that content all over LinkedIn via their personal profiles. So helping the whole team understand what LinkedIn is for, helping them, nurturing them through the process of building their own personal profiles and developing each of them as their own personal brand, talking about the company from their perspective, sharing some of the content from the company page can make a huge difference to what happens and what happens on the company page.
And so maybe let's go a layer deep. So I'm an employee, and you want us to use the content that you've built on your company page. Should they be personalizing it a little bit? Should they be, because if they just repost things that are on the company page, is that effective, or do you need to do a little more?
They need to do a little bit more. Purely reposting the company page content on your personal profile, yes, that will definitely will make a difference. So if that's all you can do in your day as an employee, that's fine. But the more you can do as an employee, the better the results will be. So definitely, if you've got the time, personalize the content and use other content as well. So put your own content up on LinkedIn. You're at an event, you're going to a meeting, you've done something great at work, it's your birthday. All of these things are things that people want to know about, because what people want to do is deal with the people within the organization, because people work with people, right?
Yeah.
So they want to know who, what's going on behind the scenes. They want to know who are the people that are making the products or the services, whatever it is that's happening in that company. So by relating to somebody within the company on a true, authentic level, somebody is going to feel much closer to that company and much closer to buying.
Right. And what about the employee that gets discouraged, right? Because we're all trained these days to think about likes and impressions and how many did we get and all that stuff. And but I saw a great meme the other day that said you only got 200 impressions, and then they show an audience of 200 people sitting there looking at a speaker, which kind of hits home, because if 200 people were standing and listening to you talk, that's a good thing, right? So what do you say to people that might get discouraged about their activity on LinkedIn?
I love that. I love that meme. People do get discouraged, and they get a bit bored if they're not seeing results, of course, and if you're not seeing the results, then you will lose interest, definitely. So I work with companies on a consultancy basis. So I stay with the company. So I'm constantly sending it. Well, not constantly. I don't want to bombard them, but I'm sending emails. I'm helping, nurturing, sending them ideas of things that they can post about. And it's just, what happens is the culture within the company starts to shift, and it's really wonderful to see. And suddenly LinkedIn becomes like we've all watched the same Netflix series, and we're talking about that. Did you see that meme on LinkedIn? Did you see that post from so-and-so? Oh, I loved your post about what you did at the weekend. And it becomes part of the company culture. And that really helps keep the employees engaged in what they're doing.
Yeah.
But if you get an employee who turns around and says, I hate this, I feel uncomfortable, I really can't do it, or I simply do not have the time, I really, really don't, then you've got to let them loose. You can't expect every employee to be doing this.
Yeah, great advice. I love that too. It's kind of the virtual water cooler when you get the culture shift a little bit. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, tell a little bit. You how long have you been doing this? And I understand you wrote a book, or you're in a pre-release of launching that book. Is that right?
I am. Thank you very much, Michael, for raising that. So I've been teaching LinkedIn since 2017/18. As part of other things. But then when we hit lockdown, that was when it really went big for me, because everybody was jumping on LinkedIn and said, Sarah, help, I need to use LinkedIn. So I really ramped up my LinkedIn training, dropped the other platforms, and realized that LinkedIn is the place to be. So that's where my focus is. Yes, if a client has a tertiary platform, Instagram or Facebook, I will help them with that as well. But LinkedIn is where the leads come in. So that's that. So yes, my book, Employee Advocacy on LinkedIn. Here it is.
Nice.
This is a draft copy, a proof, because it's got the brown line across it. Tomorrow, I will get my next proof, and hopefully we will go to print, which is really exciting. And it's to help companies understand the why, the wherefore, what is LinkedIn, what is it about, how to optimize your company page, and then how to get those employees active and being very positive and having a positive influence on the company on LinkedIn.
That's fantastic, and great useful content as well, because it's not only for the individual, it's for the company to excel as well, which is what we all want to see in our employers. That's fantastic. So I'll put the link to the pre-release of the book in the comments of the social. But do you want to mention how they can find you or find it?
Well, they can find me on LinkedIn. Obviously, that's where you will find me. And yes, you can send me a DM on LinkedIn if you want a pre-copy of the book, and I will get you on the list for when it's printed, which hopefully will be soon. So yes, LinkedIn is the place. Just send me a DM, say hi. When you connect with me, please send me a message and say hello and how you found me, and tell me that you met me through Michael Cups.
There you go. Thank you very much, Sarah, for joining us. We're trying to keep these short so people can get back to what they need to do in their priorities. Thank you so much for joining us. The ring the bell tip was phenomenal. I love that. Thank you so much for bringing that up. I learned today too. So that's what it's great to talk to other people. So thank you very much. And everybody have a great day. You can check out Time Bandit at timebandit.io. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Michael. See you.